on and you're live.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to get started in just a minute. A couple of quick housekeeping remarks for the journalists who are joining us on the Zoom feed this morning. We will accept questions during the press conference at the end. Just put your questions into the Zoom feed, and we will ask those aloud to our speakers. For those here in person, you can raise your hand and ask a question as well. And to begin the program, please welcome Visit California President and CEO, Carolyn Beteta.
In tourism, we clap at press conferences. I love it. Before even an utter word is spoken. Anyway, thank you. Oh, we're at an airport terminal, aren't we? This is going to be fun. So I'm going to ask our producer, should I be speaking through the announcements then? Okay, got it. Sorry. This is after 25 years in the business, this is new ground. I have not done a press conference at a terminal. I'm looking at all the pros over here. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us today on the state of tourism for California. Thanks for all of those that are joining us online via Zoom. We very much appreciate it. You don't have to spend much time here at the Tom Bradley Terminal to feel the excitement of international travel. It is a very exhilarating time for those that are passing through, the millions. My God, it's certainly a gateway for California, for Los Angeles. We are a gateway for the world. So, as I said, thousands are passing through and around the world each day to do business, to see family, and visit the wonders of our incredible experiences here in the greater LA area, as well as California. Today, we're going to hear from the airport about the status of airlift returning to the state after the pandemic. We'll also hear from the City of Los Angeles Tourism Officer, Doane about the economic importance and bringing visitors to Los Angeles. And finally, my friend and partner in Los Angeles, Adam Burke, the President and CEO of Los Angeles Tourism, will report on the 2022 economic impact of LA. I also want to acknowledge some great leaders, destination leaders that also represent Los Angeles. Tom Keeley is here with us from Visit West Hollywood, and we have Debbie Hayes here from Discover Torrance. So with that, we'll be sharing the economic impact report for tourism that encompasses the entire state of California. As you all know, May is California Tourism Month, and it's been designated by the legislature, and it's the time the tourism industry gives to spread the good news and the positive impacts of tourism. So as a preview, I'm happy to report that California tourism in 2022 has definitely bounced back from the human and economic toll of the pandemic. California tourism's industry grew by 1/3 last year and is poised to set new records for visitor spending, employment, and tax generation this year. A new sentiment survey is out that we've co-opted and created and collaborated with our friends that I'll be talking about later today. And it's great news. I think the pandemic, had a moment to pause and reflect, and people truly appreciate the value of tourism as an economic driver to their community. So that's great news coming out of that. So with that, we're going to get started. And I'd like to first introduce Bea Xu, the president of the Los Angeles Board of Airport Commissioners. Thanks, Bea.
Thank you, Carolyn, for that warm welcome. And welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I want to start by acknowledging and thanking my fellow commissioners and friends who have also joined us here, Commissioners Webb, Velasco, and Roxborough. We have an excellent leadership team here, and we meet twice a month, and we start every meeting with a little lap around the return to travel and the increasing numbers here at LAX. So this has been a great year for us, and we're excited to have so many great partners here that are helping us grow and build back and bring everybody back to LA. We're so fortunate to have our tourism partners from Visit California and the Los Angeles Tourism and Convention Board, at our beautiful Tom Bradley International Terminal to celebrate the growth of tourism in our state and our great city. Los Angeles International Airport is proud to be the gateway to Southern California and beyond. We are, as you know, the #1 origin and destination airport in the world, meaning more guests choose to start and end their journey here with us at LAX. Los Angeles is a world-class destination where guests can find the best cultural, dining, shopping, and entertainment experiences. And we, who are fortunate enough to live here and not actually have to get on an airplane to visit all of that, are excited to make it the best possible experience to welcome the world and the rest of the country through LAX into our city as visitors. But to do that, we know that a world-class destination needs a world-class airport to match. And that is why we have been investing billions of dollars to build the airport of the future here at LAX with the latest infrastructure, transportation, and technology to make the passenger journey more seamless. And we're doing so in an environmentally sustainable way. Throughout the global pandemic, we have actually delivered and taken advantage of some of the slower traffic to accelerate our capital program and delivered numerous capital projects, including the one you're standing in right now. This is the vertical core of the Tom Bradley International Terminal. When the people mover train is complete, this will serve as the new front door to our famed international terminal, where the bust of its namesake, Los Angeles Mayor Tom Bradley, will greet tens of millions of arriving passengers. As we continue to build a better LAX, we are doing so also with our local community top of mind always, providing good paying construction jobs to the people of Los Angeles. And I cannot overstate the significance of the travel and tourism industry on our ability to continue our success here at LAX. I'd like to thank my good old friend from the city, Los Angeles Chief Tourism Officer Doane, for bringing wonderful events to Los Angeles that allow our passengers to experience the city as its travel ultimate destination. I would like to also thank our incredible workforce here at LAWA for continuing to create a safe and welcoming travel environment for all our guests and creating an excellent guest experience to everyone who travels through our doors. We hope that Angelinos and visitors alike are as excited about the future of LAX as we are, and we look forward to being part of your next journey. Now it is my pleasure and honor to introduce to you the person leading us through our transformation, Los Angeles World Airport CEO Justin Erbacci.
Thank you very much, President Chu, and good morning to all of you. I want to really thank you all for joining us today here. It's really my pleasure to welcome you to the Tom Bradley International Terminal here at Los Angeles International Airport. This is a thriving place where every day we get people coming in and out from all over the world, and we are the gateway to Los Angeles, both incoming and outgoing. We're the first and last impression for people who come to this great city. So we're so happy to have all of you here. You know, LAX is it's one of the busiest airports in the world. We had 66 million passengers that used our facilities last year, and we're projecting more than 70 million to use it this year. So we're seeing an increase in the amount of traffic, especially in the international area where the increase is much more profound. And we hope as the geopolitical issues get resolved, that we can have more flights from China and Asia that will get even more passengers here today. So I first want to just acknowledge, and even though she's not here today, I would like to thank our city's leader, Mayor Karen Bass, for her commitment to LAX and all of the work that we're doing here to make this a world-class airport. We share that vision to continue to deliver this world-class airport and promote Los Angeles as a world-class destination. And I'm so glad to see our partners here from the tourism industry, Carolyn Beteta, Adam Burke, and Doane. You know, thanks to your efforts, LAX continues to be a top global destination for both tourism and business travel. And really, thanks for all your help to drive people through our airport and to California and Los Angeles. And of course, I want to thank President Chu and our commissioners from our board of airport commissioners, whose really stalwart support of all of our efforts here has really helped us in just been unparalleled. I'm very thankful to them for all their leadership. What we're doing here today at LAX is really transformational. We have one of the largest and most ambitious capital improvement programs in the world. And looking outside here, you can see our modernization coming to life. Right outside here, we can look across, we can see the pedestrian bridge, as President Chu mentioned, that is going to connect this terminal with the automated people mover. And we're so proud and so looking forward to having the automated people mover come here, because it's going to really change and transform the way that passengers get in and out of this airport. Imagine just being able to drop off your rental car and jump on a train and be here in less than 10 minutes, or get picked up or dropped off at a curb and just be able to way outside the central terminal area and be able to get in here within 5 to 10 minutes. It really is going to change the way people access this airport, and it's going to make people a lot more happy and alleviate a lot of the traffic that we have today. We continue to welcome people here to Los Angeles and to LAX from across the globe. And as we're leading up to some really big events coming up in the future, certainly the World Cup in 2026 and the Olympics in 28. And we welcome and put out an invitation, an extension to all passengers from all over the world to come here and share in this wonderful city and our wonderful airport. And I want to thank all of those who have come through here for using Los Angeles International Airport. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. It's Doane Liu, who is our Chief Tourism Officer for the City of Los Angeles.
Thank you, Justin. Good morning, I'm Doane Liu. I'm the city's Chief Tourism Officer and Executive Director of the LA City Tourism Department. I'm glad to be here today with our partners at Visit California and LA Tourism to kick off California Tourism Month. We're lucky to live in an incredible destination. Soon, because of the work that Justin Erbacci and his great team at LAWA are doing to bring the airport back into the 21st century, visitors will have an amazing first-class experience here at LAX. The pandemic was devastating for all industries, but no sector was hit as hard as tourism and hospitality. These businesses were the first to close and the last to come back. And we all know that LA's economy needs tourism to fully recover. Tourism creates revenue that supports the city's general fund and keeps our city services running. Tourism is not only important in making our city culturally vibrant and exciting, but it provides careers for a diverse population of Los Angeles. I've only been given 2 minutes, so I want to take 1 minute to talk about the convention center. We're making a comeback there too. And following a hiatus of 18 months, the convention center hosted 11 citywide events last fiscal year. And in the current fiscal year, we're projecting to host 19 citywide events, generating over $300 million in total economic impact. Citywide bookings for future years are approaching pre-pandemic levels. That's why we need to invest now in the LA Convention Center and make it a competitive venue to bring visitors to LA and fill our hotels. Our modernization program will also support the recovery of two segments that are slower to return: international travel and business travel. So Justin, can I borrow your construction helmet? Lastly, on behalf of my new boss, Mayor Karen Bass, I want to share that she considers travel and tourism as an essential piece of the city's recovery, bringing in billions of dollars of revenue and countless jobs to our communities. Tourism is also about sharing the vibrant and diverse culture of Los Angeles with the whole world. We're a city of dreams, of innovation, and of progress. And by working together with our visitors, we can build a better and more prosperous Los Angeles for everyone. I'm grateful for all the work that our partners have been doing, and we're excited about how much progress has been made towards recovery. We're on our way for this sector to grow beyond 2019 pre-pandemic levels. My good friend and business partner, Adam Burke, President and CEO of LA Tourism, will be now sharing some great numbers on visitation and its economic impact. Adam?
Well, before we begin, if I can just ask you all to make sure your tray tables are stowed, and can you bring your seats to their fully upright and locked positions? So first of all, I have to start by thanking Doane Liu and his entire team at the city's tourism department, as well as the LA City Council. I can honestly say there is no way we could have weathered the storm of the last several years without your steadfast support and advocacy. Beyond that, Mayor Karen Bass and Governor Newsom have really provided critical fuel for us to reinvigorate our economy through EDA grants under the American Rescue Plan, and we're profoundly grateful for that. Justin, what you articulated, we are so inspired by your vision of providing a truly world-class experience for a world-class destination. And when you look at Los Angeles, the future is incredibly bright, largely thanks to Carolyn Beteta and her incredible team at Visit California. You are the absolute best in the business of what you do, and you have really elevated our Golden State on the global stage. So this is really a collaborative effort on everyone's part. For those of you who may not be as familiar with LA Tourism, we have the privilege of serving as the official nonprofit tourism promotion organization for the City of Angels. And we're proud to represent more than 1,000 local businesses across the region who depend on travel and tourism for their livelihoods. And that includes, as Doane said, hundreds of small and diverse-owned businesses. Our mission is simple. Our goal is to improve the quality of life for all Angelenos through the economic and community benefits of tourism. Now, today's about good news, and we're going to celebrate. But I think it's important to recognize, and what Doane had said earlier, sadly, we saw just how indispensable tourism is to our local community and our economy, with job losses over the pandemic approaching 200,000, and our local business community shedding $42 billion in business sales. But as I said, today is about the good news. So as of today, we are thrilled to report that there are over 528,000 Angelenos who earn their living every day in tourism-related careers. And last year, our local business community saw $34.5 billion in total business sales as a result of tourism. The other thing we can't forget, and Doane alluded to this, is there are incredible benefits through the taxes raised by visitors to Los Angeles that we get to enjoy the benefit as Angelenos. In fact, in 2022, there was $3 billion in state and local tax revenues raised through tourism, and that included almost $300 million to the city's general fund. That supports essential services for all Angelenos, and the net result, every LA County household saved almost $900 on their annual tax bill last year because of the power of tourism. Now, one thing you'll hear Carolyn say in a moment, this is good news, but we're not all the way back yet. We're still writing our comeback story. The numbers I just shared are only about 90% of 2019's record-setting performance. And if you look at inflation, it's really only about 80 to 85%. The single biggest reason, and that's why it's so appropriate that we're here in the Tom Bradley Terminal, is the return of international visitation. As the Western gateway to the United States, it's impossible to overstate the importance of international visitors, both to California and our City of Angels. In fact, it takes 2.5 to 3 domestic travelers to equal the spend of just one domestic travel or one international traveler. That's why it's so critical that we bring the sector back. Now, thankfully, LA is uniquely positioned. For over 25 years, we are the only US destination to have our own full-time offices and team members overseas. And we kept all 7 of those offices continually operating throughout the pandemic. I've been to 8 countries in the last 6 months, and I can tell you the goodwill that has generated for California and for Los Angeles gives us a significant competitive advantage. The other thing I'll tell you is our best days absolutely lie ahead of us. We've actually looked at what's happened in the last few years. I've been in the industry 30 years. I've never seen a destination with this much remarkable investment in new product and new attractions. So much so that we've dubbed it LA 2.0, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic. Let's start with what Justin and Bea talked about. a world-class airport that is going to be one of the premier aviation facilities worldwide, period. Let's talk about where you stay. Developers are showing tremendous confidence in the market, adding 5,000 new hotel rooms just in the last 24 months alone, including some of the world's most cutting-edge boutique and lifestyle properties. But let's look at why people come to our City of Angels. Our unparalleled culinary community with over 200 Michelin-rated restaurants, including 26 Michelin stars. Look at our arts and cultural community with 675 museums. LA leads the nation in cultural institutions, including spectacular new facilities like the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. With the addition of Angel City Football Club, we now boast 10 professional sports teams, the most in the nation, and the world's most state-of-the-art sports and entertainment complex with SoFi Stadium. And our attractions continue to evolve with the recent opening of Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios Hollywood. And I said we're here to celebrate good news. We're also celebrating a year of centennials, including the iconic Hollywood sign and the LA Memorial Coliseum. For all those reasons and more, the future is incredibly bright for our City of Angels and for our Golden State. I'd be remiss before I close if I didn't thank the amazing Los Angeles tourism team. Your dedication and commitment to our mission and to our community inspire me every single day. And I guess in closing, what I'd say is above and beyond all the numbers we've shared, now more than ever, tourism has an incredibly powerful role to play in bringing people together across cultures, across traditions, to recognize that we have far more in common that unites us than what divides us. You all probably know the famous quote by Mark Twain that says that travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. Here in LA, we're incredibly proud of the fact that it's one of the world's most diverse and welcoming communities. Guests from across the country and around the world are part of the fabric of our community. And our City of Angels truly is a place where everyone is welcome. And I want to hand it back over to Carolyn to talk about the state perspective.
Thank you, Adam, for that great news and inspiration. I think it's only appropriate that we continue with the good news. And so I'm going to get into the releasing of the California economic impact numbers for 2022, which is prepared annually for Dean Runyon and from Dean Runyon and Associates. And we'll start with the top line findings first with spending. Travel spending in 2022 increased to $134.4 billion across California. That's bringing that spending back 93% of our pre-pandemic highs of 2019. On the jobs front, the travel sector added 157,000 jobs in 2022, now totaling 1.1 million jobs for California. I just heard roughly about a half of those are here in the greater Los Angeles area. And then finally, tax revenue, super important for all of us that live in these communities. Visitor generated tax revenue for state and local government increased 21.6%, totaling $11.9 billion in 2022. Just to put that in reality and how it affects us every day, tax revenue for tourism actually amounted to $906 for every household in California. Basically, we get that kind of tax break, if you will, because of the visitor spending in this state. Now, projections from Tourism Economics show California this year will surpass the record $144.9 billion in visitor spending achieved in 2019. And that's a year sooner than we expected back in 2021. So we're thrilled with the acceleration that we're all experiencing and talking about today. I really believe that a key element in this comeback is the incredible partnership that we have with our friends in Los Angeles and throughout the state, as well as the one-time stimulus funding that we receive to fund a 52-week, always-on advertising and marketing campaign to keep California competitive. Really appreciate the leadership of our legislature and our governor for the vision of seeing how do we bring tourism back after the pandemic. That 95 million in spending actually produced a record $38.2 billion in return on advertising spending. The payoff, the investment was definitely worth the payoff. Now, make no mistake, we do have some headwinds and challenges that we're facing. Global inflation is for one, and it's making consumers more cautious around the world. That could, affect travel in the coming months ahead. The jagged tourism recovery between outdoor destinations and our urban areas really struggled, and there was kind of a divergence of this recovery. But we are starting to see that now come along and level out as business travel for sure is coming back strong, and we're seeing that steady stream of international travel come along, but still we have work to do in the Asian markets. Tourism spending actually in 20 of our 58 counties is already exceeded our 2019 numbers. So recovering yet even a year earlier than our projected 2023 numbers. We've heard so much about the international travelers returning, and we're super optimistic about that. And what I'm optimistic about on the international front is, as we're seeing this recovery, and we're doing very well, a year ahead of business, and waiting on Asia, I'm hopeful that the Asian international inbound travelers will help in kind of, managing what we're seeing at the same time with this recessionary environment coming along. So with that, here in all of the Los Angeles airports, 2.4 million non-resident international travelers came through all of the airports here, and that's double from 2021. But it's still half of 2019. So that's the work that Adam mentioned that we still need to continue to focus on for the future, even though it looks very bright. This year, Visit California reopened all 13 international markets, including those in Asia. As a matter of fact, the Lieutenant Governor and Adam, we joined a trade mission to Japan, just got back from that in March, and next month we'll be headed out for a European CEO mission. Visit California, Meet What's Possible campaign, working with our partners throughout the state to really incentivize the meetings market, launched last year. That's a $66 billion economic powerhouse for us in California. And it's doing very well, but it needs continued support. Our board just allocated another $5 million to work with our California partners on that front. Our urban core initiatives continue to incentivize travel through our gateway communities. And we just launched a new brand campaign targeted at the highly competitive family market, Childhood Rules, that's running through this spring. And it joins, of course, our critically acclaimed Super Bowl ad, Am I Dreaming, on linear TV. Visit California also launched a Visit Native California program in March with a federal EDA grant. It's a tribal tourism partnership with Visit California dedicated to increasing awareness of the state's cultural heritage experiences by curating, preserving, and uplifting Native stories. I am more optimistic than I ever have been about the future. California is continuing its reputation of having these great hotbed live events, large, Adam talked about those, and providing compelling entertainment options for international travelers, as well as we as community residents here in California. So not only last year's Super Bowl on the horizon, we have World Cup matches in San Francisco and Los Angeles, and of course, the Olympics in 2028. In fact, just yesterday, we celebrated the return of the X Games to California. That'll be held in Ventura and many locations throughout Southern California. Economic development in tourism, very important, and it's a fail-safe indicator of recovery and another reason for optimism. You've heard about the improvements here at LAX and throughout Los Angeles. A couple more examples in San Diego. We're looking at a $3.4 billion investment in Terminal 1 at the San Diego International Airport, as well as $118 million for the Presidio Tunnel Tops initiative and project that became instantly a must-see San Francisco attraction that added 14 acres of parkland, national parkland in an urban setting. So my last headline I talked about earlier in the beginning for optimisms is that Californians value tourism. Visit California recently commissioned research from the firm Destination Analyst to survey residents about tourism in each of our 12 regions. And the results, residents overwhelmingly recognize the economic advantages that tourism brings in terms of business, spending, investment, and jobs. Frankly, they also dislike the crowds and the traffic and litter, but overall, tourism they see is a net positive for our communities. The majority of Californians believe tourism creates a better quality of life in their region, and that the benefits of tourism do outweigh some of the challenges that we are working on every day to make it even a better proposition. So it's just especially heartening that Californians' most important ambassadors, our neighbors, our fellow Californians, recognize the benefits of this comeback and that the value of tourism brings to each and every household here in the Golden State. So we have a press release from Visit California today that will include both the economic impact report and the resident sentiment study. And at this point, I'd just like to open it up to questions. And I know we may have some coming from online as well.
Just a reminder to our journalists joining us online, you can put your questions into the Zoom chat and we will answer, or we will ask those of our speakers here at LAX. First question for you, Carolyn. What is the state doing to get conventions back?
Thanks for that. Actually, we work to establish a statewide task force. This is unprecedented for Visit California to actually move beyond the leisure channel or leisure space to create a national campaign that the industry came up with in terms of titled Meet What's Possible. So we're actually running brand advertising targeted at meeting planners throughout the nation and frankly globally, as well as sales activations, road trips, familiarization tours for meeting planners, and trying to amplify the efforts of our destinations at major trade shows to attract those meeting planners. It's the first ever brand platform, as I mentioned, and what's great about it is it's actually working. We saw a significant lift in year one, about 43% were increase in likelihood to hold a meeting. That rose to 69% if many of our sales force actually met with the meeting planner in this multi-channel environment that we are trying to keep. So more to come this year.
Our next question concerns the return of Asian travelers. Can you speak to that recovery percentage-wise so far from that region or projected for this year?
Yeah, that is the market that is a bit slower to come back, but you know, just if we look at China alone, it's very interesting. We are about 49% recovered in the China market. And because that market's so large, it actually is bigger at 49% recovered than any of our international markets. So that's what I said earlier, is that we see hope and optimism to kind of sustain this recessionary climate that we're going through, because we still have a lot of road to cover with new inbound international Chinese visitors, as well as the rest of the Asian market.
Next question. What impact will the Hollywood writers' strike have on the tourism industry in California?
Adam?
Can I have your questions? So I think from a practical standpoint, there are so many demand drivers for Los Angeles that we're very fortunate. We don't rely on any one segment. And when we look at visitors from around the world, there are so many more new attractions, as I spoke about earlier, that we don't anticipate having an impact on visitation. It's much more of a local issue. We don't anticipate that it's going to impact visitation in any significant way.
Next question, probably for Carolyn. Is California still the largest tourism economy in the country?
Yes. It is, and actually, we've done quite well in terms of the recovery. We're at, and I'm doing this from memory, but I believe it's 11.7% share of market. Our second and fierce competitor, Florida, is in the 10 percentile. Now, mind you, a share point is worth $12 billion. So we're talking significant numbers when we talk about share, even though it sounds like it's more than 1.5% of a difference, and still number one in terms of visitor spending as well.
There are no more questions. Thank you to all of our speakers and in-person attendees, as well as all the journalists who have joined us online. This concludes our press conference.
Thanks, everybody. Good job.